there's a concept that a mentor of mine from many, many years ago used to share with me frequently. And it's really not a quote, it's really a thought, it's a concept. But I wrote it down here because I want to kind of paraphrase it for you. And it went something along the lines of, that warm feeling of comfort is the body temperature at the center of the herd. Every big change, every out front, non-standard decision, it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel unsettling. Good. That's where the growth is. And that's what I want to talk about today, change, and how at our age do we embrace change, and how do we pursue our biggest and our boldest dreams. Let me get up from this shady lawn here. Let's go for a walk, and let's talk about this. So, you know, I'm not saying to just, trust your gut and go for it, What I'm saying is use data, talk to your friends about it. But if there's some bold move that you want to make, if you're close to my age, I'm going to be 59 here pretty soon. We don't have that long, right? In fact, in my case, I have less than likely, hopefully more, but likely less than 1,000 weeks of healthy, active time in front of me, right? If I want to do anything bold, if I want to do anything new, now's the time for me to pursue this. And frankly, that's part of what this YouTube channel is, right? I've always had a passion for helping people think about when it's time to retire. I've seen people that have worked very, very hard. They've made a lot of great decisions. They had these dreams that they wanted to pursue, but somehow they got caught up in this work cycle and this fear of the unknown that kind of involves retirement, right? That's a big leap. And so these folks had won, but they were just a little fearful to just lean a little bit more out and grab that brass ring. In this video, this YouTube channel is about helping all of us think about, when's the right time for us. And retiring early is not the right match for everybody. But if it's something that you just know is something that you want to pursue, you've done the homework, you've done the heavy thinking, and thought about who you are outside of work, I would hate for the fear of the unknown to keep you from pursuing your dream. And maybe looking back, once these years are gone, once these weeks are gone, we can't get them back, right? Once I lose my health at my age, it's going to be really, really hard to get it back. Hopefully I don't lose my health until many, many years, and I take these baby steps along the way to keep my health. But once it's gone, this time it's probably gone for good. And so I just want you to make the right decision for who you are. And I also want to remind you that not making a choice is also a really powerful choice, right? By not making a choice, we are making a choice, and where the choice is the default. And if you've done that because you've thought through it, you've thought about, what would I do if I wasn't working? And you said, what, I really love my job. Then great. Keep doing your job. I'm not saying everybody should retire early, but I am saying that everybody should give it thoughtful consideration so they make a deliberate decision as to what's right for them, right? I can tell you, first I'm going to ask you a question, and then I'm going to share a little bit of data. If you won $100 million in the lottery tonight, how many of us would go to work next week, right? I don't think many of us would. And if you're already financially independent, if you're close to being financially independent, maybe you're at 80 or 90% of plan, is it worth working another 5 or 7 years to get to 100% of plan? Maybe. It depends on, what that extra money means to you. But there's been studies that have shown, in confidential studies, 80% of people say that they don't love their jobs. I should say a different way. 20% of people say that they do love their jobs. And by default, right, that means the other 80% is in one way or another saying they don't love their jobs. And I'm lucky. I do love my job. I think what I do is important work, and I get to help people on some of their most important decisions. I find it extremely rewarding. But, you know, at some point, it's going to be time for me to look at the next chapter. And I'm trying to be thoughtful. I'm trying to be deliberate about that. And I do want to encourage you, if you think, you know, maybe it's time for you to be thinking about it. If there's a little voice inside of you saying, yeah, you know, maybe what Azul's saying I should give some thought to. I really think for most of us, we have under 100 hours of reflective work that we need to do to make the right choice for ourselves. And it starts really with 10 hours. So, you know, 100 hours seems like a lot of time. I would argue that, you know, it might be some of the most important time that you spend with yourself, thinking through who you are outside of work. But a way to start with just 10 hours is I've got a video where I talked about the 5 most important books in my estimation, in my viewpoint, for thinking about retirement, right? It's that video up there that I just pointed to. I really encourage you to watch that video and to think about investing maybe the 10 hours it would take to read those books, maybe 15 hours, maybe I'm fibbing a little bit, but, you know, read faster or listen on 2x speed. So, you know, that's one of the things. And this video is not just about thinking through retirement, but, you know, if you've ever thought about starting a business, I've got another video up here that talks about why 50 and older is the perfect time to start your business. But if there's anything that requires energy and vitality, right? Vitality is an interesting word in the English language. It really has 2 meanings, and I think they're both so appropriate for people our age. That at some point are going to bow out of the workforce, and at some point we're not going to be as relevant to our peers as we are now from a professional standpoint. And vitality means that, you know, you're vital to the organization. You hold vitalness to the organization, and it also means you have the energy and the get up and go and the gump, to use an Ohio term, to make things happen, right? And as we get older, we have less and less vitality by both definitions of that. So if you've got a desire, if there's anything that's left undone from a work standpoint, from a career standpoint, from a hobby standpoint, you know, many of my viewers right now have, you know, they're physically able to do whatever they want. They have the energy to do whatever they want. Hopefully you've got the resources. It's a lot easier financially to do the things that you want. Take advantage of this chapter. Don't just coast through it. Don't autopilot is the enemy of achieving your dreams. Don't coast. Don't stay on autopilot. Think about what's important to you and make it happen. And I want to circle back to this concept of transitions. Right? The transition into retirement for a lot of us is a scary thing. We know what this life that we're living in now looks like, right? We go to work 5 days a week. We have a team that we work with. We've probably worked with them for a long time. The type of work that we're doing is really valuable work. We're good at it. In many ways, maybe it's even easy for us after all of these years, but it's probably very rewarding. So we know what this looks like, but we don't know what the next chapter looks like. So it takes this leap of faith. But I want to remind you, this isn't your first leap of faith, right? When you graduated high school, some of you went to trade school, some of you went to college. You know, we moved out of our parents' homes. That was a leap. And for those of you that went to college, you know, we were kind of in this nurturing environment for 4, 5, 8 years, whatever your educational background is. And then it came time to leave that nurturing environment, that warmth in the center of the herd, and to enter the work world. And there was a lot of uncertainty with that. But you know what? We figured it out. And then we were thinking, later on, we were thinking, you know, about marriage. And that's a big life change. And then about if you had kids, about having kids, and that's a big life change. But we've navigated all of these, and we've got a couple more really important chapters in front of us. And I just want to encourage you to summon up that courage that you've had in the past, to face the uncertainty, to get out from the middle of the herd, and to really take full advantage of the youth of your senior years. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, as the kids say, thumbs for likes, subs for love, and leave comments for me. And if you like today's video, I know you're going to like this video here, where I talk about average income in retirement, and this video down here where I talk about 5 reasons to retire as soon as you can. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.